Good afternoon, everyone. Namaskar. I am happy to welcome you all on the 6th day of Inspira's 7 days international FDP MDP on life management and developing research skills. During last 5 days, we have enriched and enjoyed a lot about mind management, lateral thinking and innovations, stress management, art of writing and publishing research papers, and on day 5th, on yesterday, about vocal for local by Professor K.V. Aslapati from Hyderabad. It is great pleasure to me to welcome today's resource person, Professor Dr. Rana Singh, for accepting Inspira's invitation for being the resource person for today's session on life management and skill development. He has enriched us by several technical sessions for IRA during last 3 years. Dr. Rana Singh is a seasoned techno business professional having 2 decades of experience in the domain of academics, research, training, quality assurance, and consulting, including setting up and promoting private university and technical institutions. Dr. Singh is the former director of Army Institute of Management and Technology, Greater Noida. Earlier, he has served as Director of Institutional Effectiveness at University of Jazeera, Dubai, UAE. He has also served as Director, Institution of Research and Planning, Gulf Medical University, UAE. Dr. Rana Singh is an MBA gold medalist with a specialization in finance, PhD in management. He has been conferred with Bihar Gaurav Samman and B.R. Ambedkar National Award in 2018. Presently, Dr. Rana Singh is Vice Chancellor, Sanskriti University, Mathura. I welcome him again, sir, for being the resource person for today's session. I would also like to welcome Professor K.V. Aslapati, Professor Malyadri, Professor N.D. Mathur, Professor Anil Mehta, Dr. Rajiv Srivastav, Dr. Ranjula Jain, Dr. Aarti Chopra, and well-wishers of Inspira who have joined us in this meeting today. As you know, today's topic is life management and skill development. In fact, life management is the way you live your life. I mean, you must know how to operate your whole lifetime when you are on right way. Even if sometimes you fall down, as we all do, but must always keep your head up, even if you didn't reach your goals. But at least you plan and take the steps, then leave the results. Life skills are defined as problem-solving behaviors appropriately used in the management of personal affairs. The purpose of today's session on life management skills is to aware about health literacy, which makes sound decisions and take positive actions for healthy and effective living. It requires to place our available time and our attention on the dimensions like self-awareness, self-esteem, family and friends, relations, health, education, profession, returns, wealth, sharing and spirituality, etc. We have to carefully allocate our energy, time and efforts to achieve in all of these areas and spend a balanced life. taking not more time now, I invite Professor Dr. Rana Singh to update us on life management and skill development. Professor Dr. Rana Singh.
Respected SS Modi ji, my esteemed Ravi Modi ji, Andy Mathur ji, Anil Mehta ji, Dr. Jain, Dr. Chopra, all other eminent dignitaries who have been as resource persons, whose name I'm not able to recite, and eminent academicians, deans, directors, faculty colleagues, and participants. A very warm good evening to all of you. It's indeed a pleasure, privilege, honor, and delight always to be a part of the event organized by Inspira family. My special heartfelt thanks to SS Modi ji for remembering me to deliver this special session. My heartfelt thanks to him and Ravi Modi ji together. I'll come straight to the discussion. And is my PowerPoint slide visible now, Ravi ji?
No, sir. No, sir.
Is it visible?
No, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Now it's visible, sir. Now it's visible.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The topic for today's session is life management and skill development. The major focus of today's session would be on life management and lifestyle management. The agenda for the presentation is life management, how we as individuals should be able to focus on managing the work-life balance and how to be focusing at life planning, and what are the current apps which are available which can help us in managing and planning our life in a better way. To a great extent, we all know that the whole world is battling COVID-19 scenario. So we'll talk about diet management and how we as professionals can leverage the knowledge and related dimensions of Ayurveda and how we can keep ourselves fit, fitter, and brighter so that we are able to contribute to the world in the process of delivering knowledge, skills, and competencies, with a focus on managing the quality assurance dimension in the process of academics. We'll also talk about diet management and health management. We'll talk about yoga, pranayama, and meditation, how they are able, how they help us in leading our life in a healthy and professional manner. And before we conclude the session, we will be talking about skill development aspects in life, how it's going to further our life in a better way. Well, SS Modi Sahab gave a very concise and precise brief about what life management is all about. Well, when we talk about life management, well, there are multiple dimensions, multiple aspects, and multiple viewpoints. When we talk about life, we talk about both personal life as well as professional life. So managing both the life optimally is a real challenge, that too in a COVID scenario. So we have to talk about managing our time, managing our relationships, focusing on our goals, focusing on achieving perfectionism in whatever we do, and simultaneously focusing on achieving happiness. One of my esteemed ex-bosses, Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, who is Vice Chancellor of Sri Sri University, has been talking about mind management and happiness very vocally about it and how we can keep ourselves happy. Then comes about how to manage our life and lifestyle together. How can we keep ourselves healthy and fit so that, a healthy mind and healthy body Both are very, very important for us to be productive and for achieving excellence in our personal as well as professional life. Simultaneously, it's very important for us to understand how to manage our finance and money together. Now, during the session, we'll talk about it. A major time of people goes into acquiring money, and they are left with very little time or no time to consume the money. So in one of the slides, we'll discuss this finer aspect of managing finance and money. So we talk about life management as an integrated whole of managing our relationships, managing our health, managing our personal and professional goals, as well as managing happiness and fulfillment in our life. So it's a very, very important aspect of our life today. And the day we understand the finer aspects, we are going to be successful in our life, and we are also going to achieve happiness, delight, and fulfillment, which is the ultimate goal and objective of our lives. Well, we all sometimes have read an English sentence which says, life is a race, not a parking space. So we have two aspects of people who live their lives. One, people who live life as it is a parking space. Let us live life king size and keep postponing things for tomorrow. The second aspect is to live life like a race and keep on achieving every day our goals so that we are able to achieve our personal and professional goals in life. So we'll talk about various aspects of life management, and we'll see how we can manage our life professionally so that we are able to make ourselves successful, happy, delighted, and productive citizen of the economy so that we can contribute to the GDP of the economy. A beautiful line, I thought, let me share it today. It says, we need to learn something which is very, very simple. When we are in trouble, जब हम मुश्किल में हैं, तो हमें ईमानदारी से खुद को ईश्वर के पास समर्पित कर देना होता है. Thank you, God. Even if it is trouble, I'm sure this is for our betterment. And when we become wealthy, we need to be very simple and honest in terms of not to be very bombastic in our lifestyle, not to try and be very expository in our expense pattern, and so on. So we need to be polite when we are in authority. Well, many a time people come to me and my room in the Vice Chancellor's office, and they say, I could never feel I have met a Vice Chancellor today. I said, no, you have met a human being, yet another human being like you, because Vice Chancellor is just a designation which is meant for official processing. So sometimes people tell me, Dr. Singh, you need to maintain the protocol of Vice Chancellor. I said, well, yes, I need to also maintain the protocol of being a good human being and being a good friend, good guide, good philosopher, good patron, and good teacher also to a student. So that's something important. So it's important for us to be polite when we are in authority and be silent when we are in anger. If we can keep ourselves silent when we are angry, I will tell you, most of the problems, they get resolved. Most of the problems, they get resolved when we are angry and we can maintain silence. So this is one of the most important secrets of life management, which I could read amongst many of the authors, preachings. This is what we call it as life management. So I'll repeat, when we are in trouble, we have to dedicate ourselves to the God and say, thank you, God. I think this is for my betterment. When we are in wealth, we have to be simple. It's like my dad used to tell, simple living and high thinking is the best strategy to lead a very healthy and successful life. Third one is to be polite when in authority. So it's simple. The authority should not come in our words. We should not show ourselves that, look, I'm in power. I should not shout at people. We need to be silent when we are in anger. So life management, these are the three simplest secrets, and we'll move forward now. Now, we'll look at the three aspects. Now, when we say life, career, and passion, let us look at the first dice. So it's important for us to make our passion towards our career. So that makes our life relatively much more fulfilling. This is very important for us to give direction of our passion towards our career. That's very, very important. It's also important for us to understand that we need to plan our actions. What am I supposed to do? When am I supposed to do? And where am I supposed to do? So the planning of the timing, what, when, and where is very important. What action to be taken, where this action has to be taken, and when this action has to be done. So the timing is very, very important. And I'm sure we have seen in cricket, if the batsman is able to time the shot well, the ball goes beyond the boundary. But if he's mistiming the shot, he gets caught and gets out as well. So it's important for us to know the timing of our actions. Now, in our life, whenever we take any action, it has associated cost and benefit. So every action which we take, we have to do cost benefit analysis, and we need to analyze what are the risks we are going to take. So it's important for us to do risk analysis from multiple dimensions. And the day we do risk analysis from multiple dimensions, we are able to take calculated decision, better decision, productive decision, and it helps us in achieving success. Sorry, I'm having sore throat, so my voice probably is not as usual, but I'll do my best. Then we have to strike balance between money, time, and value. Well, we need to understand that money has to be earned, but there has to be an optimality when we talk about money. We need to be very clear in terms of, yes, how much money are we going to earn, and how much time I should invest in earning this money, and so on and so forth. And more so, how much of value we have to give towards money. Ultimately, money is not everything. So we need to understand how much value we have to give. So it's very important for us to understand how to balance between these four major aspects. And we'll also talk about how we as professionals, we need to understand that, yes, we have to learn about making a balance between our personal life and professional life. Sometimes, one day, I give a very, normal question while I'm interviewing the MBA students. Imagine at 6 o'clock, your boss gives a call. We have an urgent meeting, client meeting for an international client. And your wife gives a call. Let's go for a movie. This is first day, first show movie. I have bought it at double the price. What are you going to do? And this is a very challenging question to an MBA student. So we need to understand, as a professional, we have to find a balance between personal life and professional life. Just to give you a brief, I was slightly keeping unwell, but even while I'm at my residence, I'm managing all the works of the office right from my residence. I have been reviewing the curriculum. I have been attending the Board of Studies meeting. I have been attending the Viva Voce meetings and many other official meetings on Zoom, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to understand how to strike a balance between personal life as well as professional life. The day we learn how to manage the balance, we are a successful human being in our personal life as well as professional life together. So we need to really understand how much time we have to give, how much importance we have to give for our personal assignments as well as professional assignments. Now, planning the life of an individual is very, very important. And let's understand how it happens. Now, in our life, we have to manage our friends. So we need to give some time to friends and family as well. We need to give time for our career. We need to grow in our career. So for that, we need professional growth, personal growth. So we have to keep appearing for seminars, conferences, FDPs, MDPs, workshops, colloquiums, so many other things. So how much time are we going to give for our career? Then spirituality is also very, very important. Well, as per the concept of integral education given by Aurobindo Ghosh, he talked about integral education should focus on 5 dimensions: mental, physical, psychic, spiritual, and vital. 5 dimensions, I repeat: mental, physical, psychic, spiritual, and vital. So we need to give some time to spirituality as well. And let me tell you one story. This is in Hindi, but I'll share this story in Hindi. There was a spiritual leader. एक स्पिरिचुअल गुरु थे और वो काफी भाषण देते रहते थे, अपना प्रवचन देते रहते थे. तो शहर का सबसे बड़ा धनाढ्य सेठ जो था कहता है, सर हमारे पास समय नहीं है आपके प्रवचन को सुनने के लिए. तो वो कहते रहे कि ये सारी उम्र जो ये शहर का सेठ था वो धन 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 करता रहा. सारी उम्र धन 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 करता रहा. Whole life he kept on accumulating wealth. And one fine morning मुझे पता चला कि वो उनका निधन हो गया. So that is the day I learned the meaning of what is meant by nidhan. Nidhan means now all the wealth which you have acquired is no more yours. So जो धनाढ्य सेठ सारी उम्र धन 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 करता रहा, एक दिन उसका निधन हो गया. So the moral of the story was that that businessman could not get spiritual wealth which could have helped him in getting eternity. स्वर्ग प्राप्ति के लिए spiritual knowledge और wealth की भी जरूरत है, तो हमें वहां पे भी समय देना है. Then we talk about home and family. हमें थोड़ा समय परिवार के लिए और परिवार के सदस्यों के लिए भी देना. We have to give time to family and family members. Then we talk about for our growth and learning. We need to give time for our growth as well as our learning. We need to have some fun in life, some adventure, some fun, some frolic. Then we need to give time for our health, because health is wealth. कहते हैं पहला सुख निरोगी काया. So we need to give time to our health, and then we also need to give time to manage our finances. When we need to invest in shares, bonds, debentures, how to manage our portfolio, to invest in fixed deposits, recurring deposits, and so on and so forth. So now when we are planning life, we have 24 hours a day. So these 24 hours are to be optimally allocated across all these 8 aspects. And people who are able to do it well are people who are successful, who are accomplished, who are knowledgeable, and last but not the least, they also lead happy and fulfilling life. So we need to plan all these 8 dimensions, and we have to do it very professionally. Now, this is the life wheel planning and management. Now, we need to plan for ourselves in our career. Where do we wish to reach? Now, people ask me, I became a vice chancellor at a tender age of around 42. Says, what do you want to do next? I said, I never wanted to be a time-bound professional. I said, I kept on working sincerely and opportunities kept on coming to me. And so my focus and my advice to all my professional colleagues, let us keep doing our professional deliverables in the best possible way. And my LinkedIn punchline says, excellence brings success. If we are focusing on achieving excellence in all domains of our life, we are going to achieve success in personal life as well as in our professional life. So we need to work on our attitude dimensions. We need to be positive and optimistic in our attitude at our workplace, at our residence, with our family members, with our friends and family together. Then we have to focus on our social life as well. We need to be socializing with people irrespective of their caste, color, religion, nationality, strata, and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter whether he's an Indian or American, whether he's from North India or from South India, whether he's from Maharashtra or Telangana, it doesn't matter. We need to socialize with people, and then we need to focus on our relationships, have to give optimal time to our family members, focus on our health, and also focus on our personal growth, which is very, very important for us. And last but not the least, we need to manage our finances well. We need to invest at places which is financially rewarding with optimal level of risk. So this is the life wheel we need to learn how to manage. And people who are able to learn how to manage are people who are successful and are people who are known to be happy and fulfilled individuals. So this is something we talk about, success versus failure. So when we work on life management, well, success is a byproduct of whatever we focus on achieving excellence. So when we say success needs no explanation, when you are successful, you get 100 friends. They all talk about, well, this man is a successful man, he's my good friend. But when you are a failure, nobody talks about you. And no explanation can defend failure. So the focus for us in our personal and professional life is to focus on achieving excellence in all the domains of life I talked about in the previous 2 wheels, and to manage our personal life in such a way that we are going to achieve success and we are also delighted in our life. It doesn't matter, well, I spent 18 hours a day earning money, I have no time for my family. That money is absolutely of no use. So we need to give time to friends, family, relationships, social life, and so on, and then achieve success in our professional life as well as personal life. So we talk about success needs no explanation and failure has none. So this is something which we talk about. So if we are able to focus on life management, success starts looking for our own address. I tell to my students, there are only 2 aspects of life. Either you keep chasing success or success keeps chasing you. And if we are able to focus on our life management, success keeps on chasing us and starts finding our address and keeps reminding and knocking our doors time and again. This is something I dedicate this session to 2 individuals. One to our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is a living legend of life management. Well, most of you who are here, you'll be surprised to know he's investing 18 to 20 hours a day. He's working in his office to almost 2 o'clock, 2:30 at night, because one of my friends who works with the PMO, one fine morning we were flying to Lucknow together, and for an hour we were together and we could know the finer aspects of how our Prime Minister is so committed and focused towards his work. Even if he's taking some national or international flights, he's carrying most of the files to clear the files while he's flying nationally or internationally within the country. He's so focused at optimally utilizing his time. So this is what this session is dedicated to him. And another dedication goes to our late President APJ Abdul Kalam ji, who once said that dreams are not the ones which we see while we are asleep, but they are the ones who do not let us sleep. So the agenda for today is we need to focus on managing our life in such a way that we dream about our success. And after dreaming it, we have to wake up and start getting into the action mode to chase the success. So this is very important. If we continue to sleep, we are never going to be successful. So the beauty of life management is to understand when to go to sleep, when to wake up, and how to chase the dream which we have seen while we were asleep. So that's very, very important for us to understand. So we need to get on to the action mode. And the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. That's what it says. So if we don't wake up, don't chase our dreams, we're not going to be successful. So the moral of the story for today is we need to wake up in time, early morning riser. What we call it as early to bed and early to rise is the secret to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we need to wake up early in the morning, practice yoga, meditation, pranayam, vyayam, snan, dhyan, puja, path, and get onto the action mode so that we are able to achieve knowledge, skills, and competencies to become successful in our life, so that we are able to achieve success and achieve excellence in all the domains. This is something very important, managing mind. My ex-boss has been speaking a lot on this topic. Well, we have 2 factories inside our mind. The first factory is the constructive factory and the other one is destructive factory. Well, my teacher, when I was in class 5, she said inside our mind, there are 2 residents, the God and the Saturn. भगवान और शैतान दोनों का निवास है हमारे दिमाग के अंदर. So the God and the Saturn both stay inside our mind. Now it is up to us. We have to listen to the voice coming from the God or the voice coming from the Saturn. So if we are able to listen to the voice coming from God, we are going to be successful. And the moment we listen to the Satanic voice, we are going to be ending up towards a disaster. So that's something which is very, very important for us to realize. So now, the whole world, especially in India, we talk about we want to reach the heaven. Well, yes, to reach the heaven, we need to nurture the voice of God inside our mind. And it says the mind in its own place can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. So when we are listening to the voice of the God, we can make a heaven out of the hell. But if we listen to the satanic voice, we are going to make hell of a heaven. तो हमें इस बात पर ध्यान रखना है कि हमारे अंदर से जो सकारात्मक आवाजें आ रही होती हैं, we need to listen to the positive voices coming to us, and that's how we are going to reach the heaven, by listening to the positive thoughts of life. This is the most beautiful dimension of life. Create wealth and please find time to consume and share it. इसी पे जो मैं स्टोरी सुना रहा था कि पूरी उम्र एक सेठ जो है धन 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 करते रह गए और एक दिन उनका निधन हो गया. He had no time to consume his wealth. So it's important for us to understand in life management, we have to acquire wealth and we have to learn how to consume it. And if we have more than what we can consume, we need to share it gracefully. If I can tell the name of one of the biggest living legends, our Wipro chairman and managing director, almost 8,848 crores he contributed towards CSR, and he shared it for the upliftment of the social and downtrodden people who are residing near his company. So that's a classic example of sharing the wealth. So we need to understand, we need to find time to leverage our, consume our wealth. And if we have more than required, we need to share it with people who badly need it. So throughout history, it says there are two categories of people. First, who created wealth, and those who enjoyed it. So we have to be the third category, people who are creating wealth and enjoying it as well. So that's very, very important for us to understand. Well, I thought let me share with you some books about effective life management, which you may like to read. Well, one of them is from Swami Amartyanandji, who is a living legend, who has been talking about spirituality and managing life and lifestyle in a very professional way. And there's another one from His Holiness Shiv Kripanand Swamiji, who has talked about life management. So we have to understand life management has multiple dimensions, and the spiritual dimension is also very, very important. If we are able to look at the spiritual dimension of life, we can live life king size and feel happy in almost all situations. So we have multiple books on life management and effective life management. You would like to read them and make your life slightly better and more fulfilling than usual. Now we have another international author called Jeremiah Gagnon, who has talked about lifestyle management and ever-changing and evolving process. So we need to understand how we are going to manage our lifestyle so that we can manage our life successfully. There's something which is very, very important by Nancy Miller as well as Craig Davey, how to do lifestyle management for patients with coronary heart disease. So there are people who have some heart-related ailments. Sometimes the heart rate is high, heart rate is low, or there are some other heart-related, hereditary diseases and so on. So we need to understand how to manage their lifestyle as well. As well as we have another eminent author talking about introduction to lifestyle management. So there are quite a good number of books. For those who are voracious readers, would like to go through some of them and make sure you start managing your life better, your students' life better, inspire them and teach them, and make the life of family members also better by practicing the modern strategies of managing life and lifestyle together. Now, now here we have the opportunity. I will request my participants, they can keep the video on, or else they can use thumbs up and clap. Thumbs up is for yes and clap is for no. So we'll talk about some time to ponder on lifestyle issues. So the speed limits on the roads Should we focus on speed limits, or we should not focus on the speed limits in our life? Yes. So we should focus on the speed limits, especially in a country like India, wherein we have more than around 5,000 deaths every day. Cigarette smoking in our life. Yes or no? Okay, definitely no. Now, then we talk about eating fresh fruits and vegetables. Eating fresh fruits and vegetables, great. The reduction in air pollution, certainly. Wearing the seat belts in our cars, wearing the seat belts in our cars. Okay, drinking alcohol, drinking alcohol. Okay, daily walk for 10,000 steps a day, daily walk for 10,000 steps a day. Okay, when we are using the stairs, our hands should be on the handrails. Hands on handrails. Hands on handrails, yes or no? Well, in COVID scenario, it's not very recommended. Otherwise, in normal scenario, certainly yes. But in COVID scenario, not very recommended. Fire alarm systems, yes, it should be fully functional. Clean and safe drinking water, clean and safe drinking water, yes. Now, growing your own vegetables. These days, we can grow our own vegetables so that we get organic vegetables rather than having vegetables which is very, very toxic in nature because of usage of a lot of fertilizers. Food shopping for quality. We need to select the good quality vegetables and fruits. Yes or no? Okay. Skipping breakfast. Skipping breakfast? No. Okay. So it's not recommended. We need to take breakfast, and breakfast is recommended like king. We need to have very strong breakfast, heavy breakfast, I mean. Adequate sleep. Adequate sleep, yes. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If we really want to stay healthy, 8 hours of sleep is highly, highly recommended. And if we are not sleeping for 8 hours a day, every day, that means we are sending a common invitation. Dear all diseases of the world, welcome to my body. So if we are not taking 8 hours of adequate sleep every day, that means we are signing a common invitation. Dear all diseases of the world, welcome to my body. Overeating. Overeating, yes or no? No. Okay. So very, very highly unrecommended. The root cause of the problem is overeating. We are becoming financially very rich, and we keep on enriching our taste of our tongue, and we do overeating, which is the root cause of the problem. And I will tell you how overeating is disastrous. I will tell you, I was fortunate to be working for 5 years for a healthcare university in UAE in the name of Gulf Medical University. Let me tell you what really happens is, I will talk about it. It's very important for us to do our heart rate management. And we need to keep our heart rate at 72. If the heart rate is less than 72, we need to take diet, we need to take salt, sugar, water, so that the heart rate comes to 72. If the heart rate is more than 72, somewhere close to around 90, we need to cut down food and water and sugar and salt so that the heart rate comes down. So what really happens when we do overeating? Whatever we eat, it contains either salt or sugar. And the salt and sugar of the food gets diluted in our blood, and the blood becomes thicker. And when the blood becomes thicker, the heart has to do a lot of extra work to do pumping. And that increases the risk of heart attack and heart stroke to the body. Matching food intake to requirements. This is, yes, matching food intake to requirements. Very, very important for us. We need to match the food intake. We need to have the right blend of fruits, vegetables, cereals, proteins, vitamins, and so on and so forth. So it's very important for us to match the food intake to the requirements of our body. And requirement of our body differs. If I'm a farmer, my body requirements are different. If I'm an office going person, my body requirements are different. So we need to match the food requirements. And that's very, very important. Well, these are the essential minerals for our body. 18 essential minerals which we talk about: calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, sulfur, iron, zinc, fluorine, copper, iodine, selenium, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, boron, and cobalt. Well, we need to understand and focus that we need to take these minerals from their natural sources and not from the medicinal sources. So that's very, very important for us to understand. Excuse me. So it's important for us to understand that we take these minerals from their natural sources and not from the mineral sources. I mean, not from the chemical or medicinal sources. So that's very important for us to understand. So if we want to be successful in managing our life, it's important for us to do planning of our life. And let us understand the importance of planning. In English, it says failing to plan is planning to fail. If we don't do planning, that means we are certainly going to fail. But if we are doing planning, our success may be doubtful or may be sure. But if we are not planning, our success is going to be doubtful. We are certainly going to fail if we have not done proper planning in our life. So life management and lifestyle management both are to be planned very religiously so that we are able to manage ourselves in a professional manner, so that we are able to achieve success in our personal life as well as professional life. Now, let us understand the various aspects. Now, when we say importance of planning, I'll go back to the slide which talked about we have to plan for all the aspects of the life wheel. We have to plan for our finances, we have to plan for our personal growth, we have to plan for our health, we have to plan for our family, and we also need to plan for our relationships, plan for our social life, plan to have a positive attitude and disposition towards life, and to plan for our career as well. So we have to do holistic planning for all these aspects. Now, there's a beautiful line when we say life planning. Life is about creating yourself. Now, we have to be creating ourselves by investing our time and energy in such a way so that we are able to accomplish ourselves in our personal life as well as in our professional life. We need to acquire the optimal blend of knowledge, skills, and competencies in such a way that we are able to achieve excellence in our personal domain as well as in our professional domain. So that is something which we need to. Now, when we say creating yourself, we need to create ourselves as a professional. Now, when we say as a professional, we need to acquire all the types of skills: human skill, technical skills, as well as conceptual skills. We need to learn the right set of knowledge. We need to focus on learning about innovation, focusing on research and development, focusing on achieving entrepreneurial skills. And last but not the least, we need to understand that we have to become a good human being, good family member, good father, good means whatever role we are playing, good father, good mother, good sister, good brother, good friend, good philosopher, good guide, good teacher, and last but not the least, a worthy citizen of the country who knows about his or her responsibilities, the way he or she is going to contribute to the economy, and to comply with the various rules, regulations, and all other laws. So it's important for us to understand. So creating yourself, we need to think about ourselves, how we are going to achieve ourselves by optimally focusing on health, wealth, relationships, time management, diet management, health management, all integrated together to make our life successful and to make life of others also successful. Now, successful person is not the one who has just made himself or herself successful, but is the person who has also attributed towards making the life of others also successful. So it's important for us to create ourselves. Now, this is most important for us to understand. I thought, let me keep it in the workshop mode, but I thought, no, it will be difficult. Sometimes people may not like to share their wish list. So most of us, we have lived almost half of our lives. We are 30 plus, 35, 40 plus. So we have lived almost 50% of our lives. Now we are left with the other 50%. Now we need to know, what am I going to achieve in the rest 50% of a life? Before I die, what should I achieve? What are the experiences I wish to have in my life? And before I die, I wish to go to United States. I wish to travel to Canada, Australia, Singapore, US, UK, Europe. And I wish to have a business network in US. I wish to have some other entrepreneurial ventures in US. So every person has a different wish list. Some people want to travel all across the world. I want to travel all over the world. In India, we have a culture of traveling to all the spiritual locations. In life, some people want to become a professor, some want to become HOD, some want to become dean, pro vice chancellor, chancellor, and the list is endless. So we need to understand, we as human beings, what are we going to achieve or experience in life? Now, Modi Sahab will say, well, I wish to have one journal in every specialized domain. We may have right now 5 journals. We wish to have at least 100 journals, one in each domain. So we may have a different wish list. The wish list may differ from people to people. As an academician who starts as assistant professor, he may say, fine, I will be happy as a dean or director. Somebody thinks, well, I wish to become a vice chancellor before I retire, before I die in my life. Somebody may think, I wish to start a university of my own. So the wish list is different, and we need to plan our life accordingly. My boss, Sachin Gupta ji, he is one of the brightest and youngest vice chancellors and motivators. He said one day in one of the sessions, he says, हमारी जो goals और objectives in life की जितनी बड़ी होंगी, हमारी शिद्दत उतनी ही तगड़ी होनी चाहिए. So if our wishes are bigger, if our aspirations are higher, our focus and the commitment of our actions should be much stronger. Higher the goals, much stronger the actions to be taken. So it's important for us. So we need to plan our wish list. What all we are going to achieve in our life, what all am I going to experience, and accordingly, along with the wish list, we need to have our action plan as well. I want to become the Prime Minister of the economy. So our Honorable Prime Minister, he was very clear. After serving multiple terms as Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, he had very clear dimension in mind to become the Prime Minister of the economy, even though he had never planned or he never fought as a member of parliament. But his vision was clear that he's going to become the Prime Minister of the economy, and his punchline was Ab ki baar Modi Sarkar. And he was very clear in his thought process. The entire branding and positioning went accordingly, and he became the Prime Minister in the very first attempt. So the moral of the story is, we need to have a documentation of what are we going to do before I die, what are the experiences which I'm going to have in my life, and so on and so forth. Now, we need to do our 10 years plan. In the next 10 years, what are we going to do? And how am I going to achieve it? Where do I see myself 10 years from now? So it is one of the important questions, especially companies which are hiring for the long term. Companies which are hiring for the long term. Suppose a person goes in Infosys as a consultant. He is appearing for the post of software consultant. And the HR asks, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? He says, 10 years down the line, I wish to become a director at Infosys, handling independent projects. So this answer of this gentleman gives 2 aspects. One, he's passionate to grow in life. Second, he wishes to grow along with the company, and he wishes to work loyally for the organization and stay with the organization for 10 years. So it's important for us to understand the questions of the interviewer. At times, they are double-edged sword. They are testing multiple things in one single question. They are testing your career aspiration. Are you a high flyer? Do you really want to grow in life on a fast track basis? Are you going to be loyal to the company? Do you have the passion and ambition to grow? So one question may have multiple and manifold, hidden questions involved into it. So if the guy answers, I want to become a director handling independent software projects, and I wish to grow with the organization and generate millions of US dollars by developing world-class softwares and exporting to multiple countries. So that's something. As an academician, so those who are assistant professors, they might say, well, after 10 years, I wish to see myself as a professor with multiple research and publications and so on and so forth. So it's very important for us to do life planning. These questions are open. The video is also being broadcasted and will be on YouTube as well. So for those of you who wish to really do your life planning, it's important for us to understand the more planned we are, the probability of success is much higher than in comparison to people who have done no planning for their life. Well, we all know if we want to take a reservation for a train or a flight, we need to book things in advance. And the people who are booking in advance are able to get confirmed ticket. But those who are not booking in advance, they get either waitlisted ticket or RAC ticket sometimes, or they get no ticket at all. So it's important for us to understand, to plan for next 10 years, next 15 years, next 20 years of life, and to plan for the rest of the life, whatever we are planning to do. What are that we're going to achieve before we are going to die. Now we talk about the 5 years plan. So in 10 years, I'm going to do this. So people who plan to go for becoming a professor in 10 years, so fine. In next 5 years, I wish to see myself to get promoted from assistant professor to associate professor by doing a lot of focus on publications in the various Indian journals, as well as Scopus Index journals or other international journals. So it's like we have to look for the short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan for all of us. And if we are able to do short-term, medium-term, and long-term planning, trust me, we are going to be successful. And when we document our plan, we start acting on it. And once we start acting on it, we are going to achieve success. So the secret of success lies in the process of planning well and implementing much better. So it's like Japan is considered to be relatively average planner, but excellent executor. But in India, we are excellent planners, but in terms of implementation, we are not as excellent as Japan. So we as a country, as an economy, if we could learn the art of implementation of plans from countries like Japan or other developed economies, we are going to become much stronger economy than many others. In our personal life, if we start focusing on implementing our plans better, we are going to be successful. And trust me, in my life, I was very passionate to grow in my career. Well, AICT had a 10-year time-bound plan for promotion as professor. The day I finished 10 years, I just brought all my documents to my management and said, well, my 10 years are over. These are my achievements. I would look forward to be promoted as professor, or I would like to change my job and join another organization, which is going to give my promotion as a professor. So my promoters and owners were very kind. They were thankful for my sincere contributions for 3 years. They promoted me as professor, and I created a new institution in the name of Accurate Business School, and I got promoted as professor. So it's like I had a clear 10-year plan in my life, and in 10 years' time, I got promoted as professor. And trust me, that day, if I had not planned to get my promotion in time, UGC brought another timeline that anybody who has served as 10 years as professor would be eligible to become a vice chancellor. So if I would have not got promoted as professor in 10 years, I would not have been eligible to become a vice chancellor after 20 years. So it's very, very important for us to plan our timings in a much better way so that we are able to be successful in life. So if my promotion as professor would have been delayed, my appointment as vice chancellor also would have been delayed. So it's important for us to have our 5 years plan, 10 years plan, and the rest of the life plan together. So for those of the academicians who are assistant professors, they may think of becoming associate professor. Those who are associate professor may think of becoming professor in 5 years. Those who are professors, they might look forward to becoming assistant dean or director or dean or associate dean in next 5 years, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to understand that, yes, we need to focus on having our 5 years plan in place. then we need to come down to the finer aspects of the 1-year plan. Now, this 1-year plan, what are the key areas of my life which I'm going to achieve in the next 1 year? So in the next 1 year, my agenda is, I'll tell you, as a university vice chancellor, to have a couple of incubation centers, to have R&D centers, to start a couple of new schools, to start almost a dozen new programs, to focus on maximizing the placement scores, and so on and so forth. So it's like, as a vice chancellor, I have focusing on academics by launching new programs, focusing on research and development, signing international MOUs with multiple universities of the world, to set up incubation centers, to start up new companies, to have the culture of startups going to a new height, to focus on commercialization of the new products which we are focusing on, to focus on entrepreneurial ventures in our campus, and so on and so forth. So it's like to focus on maximizing the revenue, to focus on having more and more scholarships for the students, and to focus on creating a world-class culture of academics, research, innovation, entrepreneurship, incubation, and commercialization, so that students from all over the world, coming from different parts of the world, are able to find a multicultural environment, conducive environment where they can contribute in academics and research. So it's like we need to plan our life in different ways. So whether we are associate professor, assistant professor, or professor, we all need to have 1-year agenda in our life, both in our personal life. Maybe in 1 year, I wish to go to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan to study about how these economies are doing well in research and development. So it's like we have multiple focus agendas. So it's important for us to document our thoughts, our yearly plan, 5-yearly plan, 10-yearly plan, and the whole life plan, so that we are able to achieve our desired goals and objectives in our life in such a way that then we come to our monthly plans and goals. What am I going to do this month? This month, I have 3 pending MOUs, 2 from outside the country, 1 from within the country in the same state. Then this month, I have to start the commencement of the new session, and I have invited the chairman of National Board of Accreditation to be the chief guest. So the monthly goals are fixed. So we need to start documenting all our monthly goals, and we keep on achieving every day what we're going to do. So it's important for us to understand, if we are able to document our goals and start giving focused efforts, we are going to achieve success. But if we don't document our goals, we don't make our efforts, we are not going to be successful. So it's important to have our monthly plans and goals together in such a way that we are able to make our life happy, successful, and to excel in all the domains of our personal as well as professional life. So our monthly goals, we need to document it and keep focusing on our efforts in such a way that we are achieving all of them one by one. Now, after doing the monthly plan and goals, now we talk about our learning and development plan. It says, reading makes a man perfect. Reading makes a man perfect, and it's applicable to women as well. So I would not like to be gender biased. So reading makes a man perfect, and it's equally applicable for women as well. So God has gifted us with the special differentiating intellect wherein we can acquire more and more knowledge, skills, and competencies. And we need to plan which are the books we are going to read in our life today and in the rest of. So it's like I'm one person who would always like to finish at least 1 book every week. It's like every week I need to find a new book so that I'm able to learn more and more from the learned authors, because it's such a great pleasure to read a whole book in a week and learn what the author could acquire the knowledge in 30, 40, 50 years. In 1 week, you can read the book and acquire the same knowledge. So you become a repository of knowledge and a moving encyclopedia if you have the plan to read books and books and books throughout the year, and you're able to buy them and read them or borrow from the library. So it's very, very important. Then we talk about which are the training programs and workshops which we are going to attend and acquire the required knowledge, skills, and competencies. So it's important for us to understand these are the workshops, MDPs and FDPs we are going to attend and acquire the required knowledge, skills, and competencies. And throughout the Throughout the year, we need to study various books which can give us knowledge about technology, knowledge about business, knowledge about entrepreneurship, spirituality, research and development. We can read the various journals so that we know what's going on across the world and how we can do our things in much better and brighter way. So we need to have our learning and development plan. And let me tell you, one of my research findings, more than 95% academicians do not make a learning and development plan for themselves. An empirical research with more than around 7,000 academicians, you would be surprised to know not more than around 6,500 out of 7,000, 6,500 academicians did not have learning and development plan for themselves. So it's important for us to have our own learning and development plan so that we are able to enhance our knowledge, because a good teacher is one who is a lifelong learner and is a great student himself. So it's important for us to become a lifelong student and lifelong learner and imbibe the spirit of lifelong learning in ourselves as well as among the students, community and fraternity. And that makes us as a teacher successful and the student as a student successful. It's very, very important for us to plan our learning and development plan. Now, it's the same thing, the books, audiobooks to read or listen, and the training programs, workshops, MOOCs, seminars, conferences to attend. Then we do the monthly plan. What are the actions we are going to take in this particular month? These are the actions which we are going to do. And once we have done those actions, we are going to achieve the desired plans and goals which we have envisioned in our life. Now we talk about, so all the actions to be taken, we have to document it. And once we are able to document it along with dates, we are able to see whether we have been able to achieve them or not. Now, in such scenario, it's important for us to understand. So similarly, apart from the monthly plan, we also need to have the weekly plan. What are the goals to be achieved during the week and what are the actions to be taken, so that every week, if we are able to achieve our weekly targets, we are going to achieve our monthly target. And every monthly target, if we are going to achieve, we are going to achieve our quarterly and half yearly target. And then if we are able to achieve half yearly target, we are able to achieve our annual target as well. So it's important for us to have our weekly plans and to focus on how the goals are to be achieved, what are the actions to be taken, and so on and so forth. Similarly, on our daily plans and actions, we need to write down, today we are going to do all these actions. And if we are able to achieve the daily actions, daily priorities, if we are able to achieve, daily goals we are going to achieve, our weekly goals will be achieved. If we are achieving our weekly goals, our fortnightly goals will be achieved. If we are achieving our fortnightly goals, our monthly goals will be achieved, and quarterly goals and half yearly goals and yearly goals. Similarly, 5 yearly goals, 10 yearly goals, and so on. So we are going to achieve all our targets. So it's important for us to understand that we need to have our daily plans and priorities. What are the actions which we are going to take? And at the end of the day, we need to have our own report card. What is the achievement for today? What have I completed? What is still pending to be done tomorrow? What is the success I achieved? What are the failures which I have met today? So it's important for us to have our own daily report card. If we are able to do it, we need to have, and let me tell you, our Honorable Prime Minister, I was told that every morning his table has a big dashboard and he has more than around 150 to 200 works to be done. And at the end of the day, before he goes to sleep by almost 1:30 or 2 o'clock at night, he does the tick mark of all the important works which are done. The ones which are done, he puts a mark on green, and the ones which could not be done are still left as red for it to be carried forward the next day, for it to be ensured for completion the next day. So our Honorable Prime Minister, let us have a lot of learning from him, from his life management skills, and how he has become one of the world's most successful Prime Minister by being the leader of one of the world's largest democracy. So he prepares a daily report card for himself. So I'm sure if our Prime Minister, our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji can do it, we as individuals, we should learn the art of preparing our own report card every day and analyze our good work or not so good work every day so that we can improve our performance the next day. So today, I have a homework for all of you. You have to give 5 compliments for yourself. Well, I think you can, in the message box, you can send 5 compliments for yourself. How you're going to compliment yourself. You have to praise yourself, 5 of it quickly. You have 2 minutes to go, everyone. Yes, you have to give 5 compliments to yourself, I mean, as an individual. So you can send it in the message box for yourself. Can we do this exercise quickly? Yes. 5 compliments for yourself. Are we able to do it? Participants, quickly. Yes, I started getting some of them. Okay, so 5 compliments for yourself. This is to motivate yourself. You have to write, yes, you have done your job. You did it well. You spoke really well today. You delivered an excellent session. You were perfect today when you were making the presentation. You wrote an excellent research paper today. You convinced your boss today in a very nice way. So you need to give 5 compliments for yourself every day and be focused, try and motivate yourself. Now we'll talk about the next dimension to it. This is very, very crucial for us to understand on managing the interpersonal relationships. Interpersonal relationships is very, very important. How we are going to bring value into the life of this person. So anybody who came to meet you today, could you bring a difference to the life of that person? Could you make him or her happy? Could you give him a new way of life? Could you give a solution to his problem? Was he depressed and he went happy from your room? Could you give him some password of being happy? You know, when somebody says, what should be the password? I said, please give the password of happiness to life. 2 people. If you are able to give the password of happiness of life to people, 5 persons every day or 10 persons every day, trust me, you are one of the most successful persons in this world. So if we are able to bring some difference to the life of others, we are able to make life of people happy in personal life as well as professional life. Trust me, we have lived our day in a successful way. अगर आज हमने 5 लोगों को मुस्कुराने का एक बहाना भी अगर दिया है, we have lived our life happy. So life management, one of the biggest secrets is to give the option to people, the reasons to people to smile, and they should feel happy. There was a beautiful line in one of the rooms. वो हिंदी में था, हमारे कमरे में कई लोग आते हैं, कुछ जब आते हैं तो मुझे हंसने का बहाना देते हैं और कुछ जब चले जाते हैं तब मुझे हंसने का बहाना देते हैं. So that was something very, very surprising written in Hindi. So there are people, 2 types of people. People, when they come to my room, I feel happy about them. And there are some people, when they leave my room, I feel happy about it. So let us be a person who, when we meet somebody, the person feels happy and loves to meet time and again. So it's important to bring value to the life of people. And this is how we are going to be successful in our lives and make interpersonal relationships much better. This is very important. Lessons learned during the day. Let me tell you my lesson learned during the day today. Well, I have 2 internet connections, one of BSNL and one of Airtel. For today is I should have a 3rd power backup as well, because I have multiple important meetings with various senior dignitaries of the country at times, and I'm delivering sessions in various seminars and conferences. So my learning lesson for the day, I should have the 3rd internet backup connection as well. So that is my learning lesson for the day. So we all need to have learning lesson for the day during the day, which we can learn and improvise in our personal and professional life, so that we can bring improvement in the quality of our performance at individual level, at the group level, as well as at the level of the team or the department or the college or the university or whatever level we are operating at. So this is very important. When we are planning our life, we need to have the lessons learned every day. And this lessons learned, we need to implement it. There's no point if I learn and don't implement it, it has no meaning. Now, we'll come towards technology. Technology has been very close to my heart. So in my presentations, I normally keep some segments of technology aspects. So there are some apps, life planning apps, which can help us in balancing our life goals. We can write our life goals and keep working on it consistently. So the life planning apps, one of the very well-known app is Life Goals. So this is my goal planner and affirmations. So I want to become a dash in my life. So if you write it there and you see it every day, it gives you the courage, it gives you the passion, it gives you the commitment to work towards it every day so that one day you are able to become successful. So I thought, let me share some of these apps which you can think of downloading it if you have sufficient space in your mobile, or you can create some space for these wonderful apps, because these are life-changing apps. I have read success stories of many successful people who installed the app, started working along with the app and became successful and shared their own success story from public forum. Well, I downloaded this app and I wrote my affirmations and I kept working on it and I became successful one fine morning. So that's something which is very, very important. So technology can become an enabler in our personal and professional life. So those of you who want to be successful and to do life planning using this app, you can download it and do it at your own risk. The author has a disclaimer. The author does not take any risk or responsibility of giving a guarantee for achieving the life goals, but yes, it definitely enables us to a phenomenal extent. Another app is Success Life Coach, Goal Planner and Habit Tracker. Let me explain to you. Suppose a student, he says, I want to crack IIT and I want to study 18 hours a day. So he can track his daily routine that yes, every day he's able to study at least 12 to 14 hours every day. So he can track his habit and see that yes, if he's able to invest 12 to 14 hours every day preparing for IITs, he might be able and become successful and crack the IIT exam. So this is called Success Life Coach. One can plan the goal and track the habit accordingly. So this is very, very important. The third one is My Dreams. This is another app, My Dreams. You know, people can write about their dreams and consistently work towards it and work towards achieving the desired dreams. So it's very, very important for us to use these apps and keep ourselves motivated towards our life goals on a daily basis so that we are able to achieve our goals of our life. This is the most crucial app of my life, and I would like all of you to learn about it. Heart rate monitoring app. This is one app which we all need to learn about it, and we need to understand that we need to learn how to keep our heart rate at 72. That is the recommended heart rate, 72. If we are very strong exerciser, maybe we are doing an exercise of 1 to 2 hours every day, our heart rate can also vary between 60 to 70. So for those of us who want to avoid heart attack, we need to download this app. This is called Azumio, A-Z-U-M-I-O. The name of the app is Azumio. And this app helps us in tracking our heart rate. And it is very, very important for us. It helps us in avoiding heart attack to a phenomenal extent. If we are able to download this app and keep our heart rate, if we can keep tracking our heart rate every day, we can avoid meeting heart attack or any of the associated risks. Now, what happens when the heart rate goes up? That means the blood pressure has gone up, and that is called the situation called tachycardia. Tachycardia is a situation when the heart rate goes beyond 90. And when the heart rate goes below 60, it is called bradycardia. So when the heart rate goes below 60, we need to take some salt or sugar stuff along with water so that the heart rate goes up. And when the heart rate is beyond 90, we need to cut down the intake of salt, sugar, water, and food. And we need to take rest so that the heart rate comes below 90. This is very, very important for us to understand, to learn about heart rate. And we need to monitor the heart rate of every member of our family. And if we see somebody has higher heart rate, we need to start working towards it to bring down the heart rate by cutting down on the quantity of food and the quality of food. Quality, I mean, we need to start taking simple food without much of salt and sugar and oil to bring down the heart rate in case if the heart rate is more than 90. Now, Google has a beautiful and a wonderful app called Google Fit. Google Fit helps us in tracking that whether or not we have traveled our 10,000 steps a day or not. So it's also helping us. We need to do some 10-15 minutes of aerobic exercise, which is important for the cardiac health. So it helps us in tracking our health every day. And we as family members, this must be Google Fit and Azumio must be installed in everyone's mobile so that we are able to track. Yes, we have been able to walk for 10,000 steps a day. We have been able to do 10 minutes of aerobic exercises for good cardiac health and so on. So these two apps, Azumio and Google Fit, they are very, very important for us to keep healthy, fit and fine, and to keep our physical and mental health perfect. So this is very, very important for us. Means the two take home for today, I would like all the participants today to install Google Fit and Azumio every day and to keep track of your cardiac health as well as physical health every day. Now I'll talk about diet management in the COVID scenario. We have a school of Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital. We have been sensitizing the common people how to use more and more natural products so that it is going to be beneficial for us in our life. In our diet, especially people who have more fat in the body, they should use lemon. People who are very thin and skinny, they should avoid using lemon because it may not be of more advantage to them. But people who have fat in their body, they should know the health benefits. It helps in reducing the weight. It gives relief from fever and cold. It soothes the toothache and cleanses the teeth. It also eases the pain of sunburn and bee stings. It also fades the scar on the skin. It removes the wrinkles and the blackheads. Apart from this, it controls high blood pressure. It stops internal bleeding, cures indigestion and constipation, and it reduces dandruff and gives a wonderful hair health. So we need to know how to use lemon on a daily basis in our diet. And if we are using it, it also increases the level of vitamin C in our body and becomes an immunity booster of our body and helps us in combating the menace of COVID-19. Well, in our diet management, we need to also learn about the 6 Ayurvedic herbs which are boosting our immunity in a big way. And ashwagandha is one of them. Mulethi is the other one. Tulsi patta. It can be both Rama Tulsi or Shama Tulsi. Both are equally good. We talk about amla. We talk about neem. We talk about turmeric. Only thing which we need to understand that the quantity of usage of these products should not be abnormally very, very high. Not beyond 25 grams each component of them on a daily basis, every individual. So we need to learn to use them optimally. Amla, we can take up to 50 grams, but others we should avoid going beyond 25 grams. So we need to understand how to incorporate these immunity boosters in our diet to enhance the immunity level in our body and also to focus on becoming stronger, healthier, as well as to look better and brighter. So it's important to understand all these finer aspects. Now, we need to understand the health aspects of coriander. India has a culture which is very positive culture. जब हम सब्जी खरीदने जाते हैं तो हमारे सब्जी वाले जो हैं धनिया पत्ता और मिर्ची मुफ्त दिया करते हैं. So it's so beneficial for all of us. You'll be surprised to know it helps in preventing the heart diseases. It helps in nourishing our eyes. It helps the body in terms of detoxifying the heavy metals. It also helps us in defending ourselves against food poisoning. And it regulates the menstruation cycle for the women, and it also helps in terms of protecting the nervous system for the human beings. So it's very, very advantageous, and we need to leverage how to incorporate coriander and coriander chutney in our diet every day, so that we are able to focus on having strengthening of immunity as well as getting other positive health aspects. Now, Giloy has been a product which has been made really very, very famous by our Yog Guru Baba Ramdev ji. So it is helping us in terms of boosting our immunity, boosting our digestion. It helps in treating the asthma. It's also aphrodisiac as well. So it helps us in better digestion. It also treats chronic fever. It treats our diabetes. It also treats the gouty arthritis. And the best part of it is it has anti-aging properties. For those of you who really want to continue to look young and younger, probably Giloy is one of the best products to be consumed at a relatively higher frequency for those of you who really wish to look young and younger and brighter and smarter than usual. So that's something which is important. Then we need to know about turmeric. It helps us in improving our skin health, helps in preventing the arthritis. It helps in controlling diabetes. It detoxifies the liver. It has anti-inflammatory properties, so it brings down, it is antipyretic, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and it also helps in prevention of cancer to a phenomenal extent. It improves the digestion, boosts the immunity in current challenging scenario of COVID-19. So it's very, very important. And it also helps in the promotion of weight loss and is anti-inflammatory in nature. So it brings down the level of pain inside the body in case if there is any. So it's very important for us to understand how we are going to maximize all of these aspects in our diet management. And then we talk about Panchkarma therapy. So we talk about health management. Ayurveda gives us a therapy called Panchkarma therapy, wherein Ayurveda experts, they administer the process of Panchkarma, which helps in eliminating the root cause of the disease. The biggest disadvantage with the English medicine is they cure the symptoms, but they do not remove the root cause of the disease. But Ayurveda focuses on removing the root cause of the disease. So Panchkarma therapy helps in removing the root cause. So once the disease is gone, probably you're not going to suffer the same problems again. It improves the immunity. So our immunity becomes stronger. The fat level inside the body, all types of fats, the negative fats, they come down in the body. It balances the nervous system. So Panchkarma therapy, it balances the nervous system. So it makes our nervous system stronger. The blood circulation system, that also becomes improved. And it brings a better physiological equilibrium in the body. So it balances the pH level inside the body. We need to have the balance between the acidic and the basic property inside the body. And this is the most important. Most of the foreigners, they come to India for Panchkarma therapy. It slows the aging process. So it stops people from looking older, and it stops the aging process. And it improves the toxins within the body from different weak points of the body. So because of a lot of toxicity inside food, water, vegetables, and fruits, we are getting toxicity in almost everything. So all these toxins get removed, and it balances the three types of doshas, Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. The entire Ayurveda is based on Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. So ये जो तीनों प्रकार के दोष होते हैं उनको balance कर देता है. So Panchkarma therapy is very, very important. So if we are able to invest 1 or 2 days every week, once a week in a year inside our body, we can live a long life and healthy life. So Panchkarma therapy is highly recommended for people who love to live healthy, devoid of any disease, devoid of any toxicity inside the body. Then we would talk about Vaman Karma. It's also a therapy which we talk about health management, wherein a person does vomiting and is able to detoxify the body. So vomiting is being done to detoxify the body and to remove the cough toxins collected inside the body. It is especially done for people who have the cough dosh imbalance. So in Ayurveda, Vat, Pitta, Kapha, these are the three imbalances which we talk about. So the people who have the cough imbalance inside the body, we highly recommend them for the Vaman Karma. And the treatment involves loosening and mobilizing the toxins. So the entire focus of Vaman Karma is to make the toxins loose and to mobilize them so that they come outside the body. And it's also very, very useful for people who are suffering from obesity, those whose BMI balance is in the risky zone. So it brings down the level of obesity, and it is helpful in the process of bronchial asthma, chronic allergies, vitiligo, as well as in psoriasis. So a lot of other diseases. Vaman Karma is highly, highly recommended. So this is very important in our life management. We need to know about the therapies and learn how to use them in a professional manner. Then we talk about the Virechan Karma. Virechan Karma is again detoxifying the body by improving the digestive fire and appetite. So in this process, we ignite the digestive fire and appetite of the body, and it leads to the Virechan process. We are able to excrete and do away with all the unwanted toxicity inside the body, and it makes the mind feel calm and clear, and the skin inflammation gets cleared, and the body feels very clean and strong from within. So Virechan therapy, it improves the metabolism of the body. The metabolic processes of the body. The digestive fires, all the dhatus, they are able to help us in terms of balancing, and it cleanses all the waste products from the body through the anal route. So a person, so when we know about all these health management therapy techniques, we need to understand how to use them, when to use them, and to understand that yes, Ayurveda is going to be a positive health dimension, and we need to learn how to manage our life by using Ayurveda as and when required, especially by leveraging the various medicines. They are all non-toxic in nature, whereas most of the English medicines, they have toxicity in nature, and they normally tend to increase the heart rate, which has a lot of cardiac risk. Apart from cardiac risk, the renal risk, the liver risk, the brain stroke risk. So we need to understand which are the health techniques are relatively much better, much less riskier. So from that perspective, it's important for us to understand that Ayurveda is very, very advantageous for us to manage our health in our life. Then one dimension was in terms of our financial management. So, well, I have not kept a separate slide for the same, but I'll just go extempo because I have specialized in finance and I have trained bankers from more than 50 countries. So financial management is very, very important for us to understand. We need to have at least 1/4 of our income, which should be readily liquid, so that we can leverage it as and when required, especially for the health related purposes. And we need to invest at least 1/4 of them in equities, bonds, shares, and debentures and mutual funds, so that they can give us high returns by taking high risk. So we need to have a balance between some liquidity, ready liquidity with us, so that we can use it as and when required in case if we fall sick. 1/4 of it going into equities, bonds, and debentures, 1/4 of them in real estate and other aspects, and 1/4 can be according to the taste of people, maybe in gold, jewelry, diamonds, any other investment which they deem fit. So it's important for us to have the right balance in terms of finance as well. So it's important for us to learn about where are we going to invest our money, and when should we invest, where to invest, how to invest, so that ultimately we are financially well off and we have sufficient money to enjoy our life personally as well as professionally. Now, this slide is very, very important for us. In fact, the most meaningful slide of this whole presentation: yoga, pranayam, and meditation. There's a beautiful line in Sanskrit which says Yoga Karmasu Kaushlam. Yoga brings dexterity to life. Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. Yoga brings dexterity to life. It enables us in achieving excellence. So yoga helps us in keeping our body physically fit and mentally agile. And it is very, very highly recommended to follow the footprints of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has been a very active practitioner of yoga and has given a message to the whole world in the form of International Yoga Day of 21st June, that the whole world must practice yoga so that we are physically fit, mentally active and agile, and we are perfect in our decision-making process, planning process, and so on. Now, pranayama is very, very important to do alternate breathing. Alternate breathing, we take breathing from the left nostril and we inhale from the left nostril and we exhale from the right nostril. And then we do vice versa. We inhale from the right nostril and we exhale from the left nostril, and we keep on alternating it. और हम इसे सूर्य नाड़ी और चंद्र नाड़ी कहते हैं. So the two nostrils of our nose indicate the sun and the moon. And it is important for us to understand that people who do pranayama, it does the balancing of the heart rate. People who have high heart rate, it enables them to bring it to some lower extent. And then third is meditation. Meditation, while we are practicing meditation and we are chanting Om, it helps us in integrating the mind, body, and soul. I repeat, if we are practicing meditation and chanting Om on a daily basis, it enables us in integrating the mind, body, and soul. It's very important for us to integrate the mind, body, and soul for achieving success and excellence in life. So it's important to invest 5 to 10 minutes every day to practice meditation, 5 to 10 minutes of pranayama, and a minimum of 30 minutes of yoga on a daily basis. So if we are able to do 1 hour of investment every day in yoga, pranayama, meditation, and we call it as puja part, the recitation of some of the spiritual texts. So if you're able to invest snan, dhyan, puja part, yoga, pranayam, vyayam, 1 hour investment every day is going to be a premium for the next day life insurance. So if we are investing 1 hour today in yoga, pranayam, vyayam, meditation, snan, dhyan, puja part, we have 1 day of life insurance without any cash premium to the life insurance company. So it's very important for us to invest 1 hour of premium every day to get the life insured for the next day. Now, we'll also talk about the skill development dimension of it. This was the second dimension. Well, we as a country, we need to really we as a country, we are committed to become a global superpower. And to become a global superpower and to become a 5 trillion economy, we need to really understand that our Honorable Prime Minister has been committed towards focusing on the skill development mission of the government under the dedicated Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which is currently doing a tremendous and an excellent job by imparting skills to the rural youth as well as to the youth of urban and semi-urban areas. So when we talk about skill development, we talk about multiple types of skills in the human beings. We talk about human skills, technical skills, and conceptual skills primarily. We talk about soft skills and hard skills. We talk about technology skills. We talk about business skills. We talk about psychomotor skills. And there are a variety of skills today on the basis of various aspects and dimensions. So we'll learn about the aspects of skill development and how the economy today is working towards enhancing the skill development of the youth and people of different strata of life. Now, let us understand about the skill hierarchy. Now, we have different levels of skill hierarchy. When a person is acquiring basic knowledge and is acquiring the associated skills, he's just knowing about it. So he initially knows about it, then he has some motivational use of knowledge, so he knows how to play with it. Then if he is able to have a purposeful use of that knowledge, he starts working with it. Apart from that, he starts doing a creative use of skills to resolve problems. We call that he's going to solve it. And apart from solving the problems, he's able to create new knowledge, new skills, new products, new service, or a new leadership in this domain. We say that he or she has done some invention. So a student, he starts as a student, gets the basic knowledge, gets to know how to do with it. Then he becomes an apprentice and he starts playing with it in the real world. And after that, he becomes a specialist because he's now having purposeful use of that knowledge. And then later on, he becomes an expert and is able to train others. And then he becomes a craftsman, is able to innovate and invent new product, new service, and is able to really do some tremendous work in this domain. So skill development currently is on the top focus of the government, especially we talk about National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, and the Skill India mission of our government under the dynamic and visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and our Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister, Honorable Minister, Shri Mahendra Pandey ji. So the new age skills are getting a lot of importance in the current times. And we talk about artificial intelligence, virtual reality, big data analytics, robotics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, and so on and so forth. So I would be happy to share with all of you that at Sanskriti University, we are just implementing 3D printing machine in association with Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises in the coming week, and we'll soon get it inaugurated by our Chancellor, Shri Sachin Gupta ji, and with the cooperation of Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises. We recently signed up an MOU with one of the leading technology companies in the domain of skill development called UpGrad. And we have launched BTech and MBA programs in the domain of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, big data analytics, robotics, and Internet of Things. And we implemented a state-of-the-art learning management system so that the students are able to do their skill development in various domains and could enhance their skills in the virtual learning environment. So all the students are now getting state-of-the-art virtual learning environment wherein they can learn about the latest technologies pertaining to artificial intelligence, virtual reality, big data analytics, robotics, and Internet of Things. And we are really going to implement one of our engineering globally employable, globally competitive sector as well as to the services sector and primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors of the economy. So it's important for us to understand how we are going to create the new age skills and how we can incorporate it in our curriculum with outcome-based approach and with the approach what the UGC has been talking about, how to implement LOCF, Learning Outcome Curriculum Framework, in our curriculum so that the students are being imparted the new age skills so that they become nationally and internationally employable. Now, it's important for us to focus on skill development within the campus, in the nearby villages. So we at Sanskriti University, we have been focusing at skill development of the youngsters of the nearby villages, especially for the women. Our School of Fashion and Fine Arts, they have been going to the nearby rural areas and have been by training them on stitching skills, cutting skills, embroidery skills, so that they are able to enhance their skills and earn a respectful livelihood. So it's important for us to understand what are the skill gaps. So it's important to do skill gap analysis, and we as academicians, we should do skill gap analysis within our campus, within our region, within our district, so that we can give what are the recommended skill development programs to district skill development officer, as well as to the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, so that we can structure meaningful skill development programs so that the youngsters are given the right set of knowledge, skills, and competencies so that they are able to make their future brighter and stronger. So it's important for us to do skill development after gap analysis. And I'll talk about some of the statistics as an outcome of skill development by our Honorable Prime Minister, who has focused on skill development as a national movement. एक राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन के तौर पे उन्होंने लिया है, and he has focused on training 19.55 lakh youth who have been trained under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So this has been one of the most successful schemes of the government, wherein around 20 lakh youngsters have been imparted skills and have been given jobs in different domains. There's been Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, wherein the youngsters from the rural sector, they have been trained on various skills, and 724 training programs in 1100 training centers across 21 cities have been imparted, and around 4 lakh youth have been trained, and almost 2 lakh youth have been placed in jobs, which is a very, very, encouraging and motivating figure. Getting jobs for 2 lakh rural youth is an amazing accomplishment of the government. 1,141 new ITIs with 1.73 lakhs seats have been started all across the country to provide training, apprenticeship of various skills to the youth of rural, semi-rural, semi-urban, as well as the urban sector. 34 ITIs and 68 skill development centers have been established in LWE affected districts. So the government has been pretty focused in terms of establishing skill development centers with focused approach to give them job immediately after finishing their program. That is how the government has been ensuring that the person, the boy or the girl, is able to get the job, because the payment to the skill development center is not being released unless the boy or the girl gets placed gainfully, gets employed gainfully in a related job after completion of the skill development program. So this is very, very important for us to understand, and we'll talk about the value chain. This value chain is very, very important for us to understand in the process of skill development. Now, the central government and the state governments are doing funding in the process of skill development, and we have various skill development centers being opened all across the country, and the people, individuals, are being trained across different age groups. Youngsters, middle-aged, even people at old age, they are being trained. The rural farmers are being trained, the youth are being trained, middle-aged men and women are being trained in different skills so that they are able to become a productive citizen. And they are having two options: either they get a job or they start an entrepreneurial venture of their own. And for getting a funding for themselves, MSME has been doing a splendid job for people who have done training in different segments. They are able to get different kinds of jobs in different small and medium enterprises. So MSME is helping them by cooperating with them in the various job portals. Now, this is very important to know the value chain. The first aspect is sourcing the young talent. Sourcing the young talent is very important. What is the source of talent? What is the basic qualification? What are the skill sets they are required? And then under the expert guidance of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, the curriculum is being designed, the content is being planned, and technology enabled mechanism and pedagogy is being recommended so that the youngsters are being imparted world-class knowledge, world-class skills, and world-class competencies by expert trainers, by the latest training methodology, so that they are able to be globally employable, and their assessment and certification is being done by well documented process and means, and the assessment is done in a very transparent manner by online or offline mode. And once the student is found to be adequately knowledgeable, skilled, and competent in the respective areas, he or she gets certified, and gets the certificate. And then comes the role of the skill development agency to get the student placed in the right company of his or her choice with matching skill sets. So it is the skill development company which has to create the infrastructure, IT infrastructure, as well as the teaching and training infrastructure for the youngsters, to provide them training and to arrange for the trainers. And they also arrange for the train the trainers program, and they get funding from Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, so that the students are being given the best of the training facilities in such a way that they are able to become a successful and skilled human being and are able to manage their life personally and professionally. They're able to have gainful employment. They're able to keep themselves fit and fine, both healthy and physically and mentally fit, and they are able to earn a living for themselves and their family members. So this was the last slide. So I have kept 5 minutes for question answers. So thank you very much, participants, to all of you for such patient listening. And I have left last 5 minutes. So we have another 5 minutes at our discretion for the question answer session. So I hope Modi ji will allow the participants for question answers in case
Thank you so much.
they have any. So
Yes,
thank
yes,
you very much for patient listening.
Thank you, sir. As usual, it was really a wonderful presentation, sir. And I think if we follow all these things which you have mentioned, then I think we never need to go to hospital or don't need any
doctor, hospital,
medicine.
and medicine. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I request all the participants, please, to start their videos, to on their videos. And if they want to ask any question to Professor Rana, they can ask. Please raise your hands. Click on raise hands icon.
So I think they do not have questions.
Yeah, sir. Everybody, yes. Everyone is satisfied, sir. I think already everyone is.
Probably attending the 6th day is a real big challenge for
sir. But
teaching fraternity.
There is a query in the chat box.
Yes.
From Dr. Ashutosh Kundu from Guwahati, Assam. That yes. How we can improve our metabolism system by Ayurvedic culture.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Well, to improve our metabolic processes of the body, well, the first important dimension is to focus on having 8 hours of sound sleep. And to have 8 hours of sound sleep, we need to be ensuring that we take a bath before we go to sleep, if the weather allows it. We massage the bottom of the feet 5 minutes each, both the feet, by any of the oil, preferably Navratna oil or Banful oil, the red oil. If we are able to massage both the feet, the quality of sleep improves a lot. So 8 hours of sound sleep, that's first. 1 hour of yoga, pranayam, vyayam, and snan, dhyan, puja part early in the morning. This is 2. Third is to have the right blend of diet in terms of having the sattvic diet in and to avoid all the food which is packed foods or frozen foods. We have to avoid that. And last but not the least, if we want to have our metabolic processes in place, we need to take food which is in the right blend in terms of having right blend of vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, the vegetables, and the fruits in the right quantity. And apart from this, we also talk about avoiding all plastic containers. Any of the food or eatables or drinkables in plastic container, it badly impacts our metabolic process. So we need to throw away all the plastic bottles of the house, and we need to eat and drink only in the metallic or the glass containers, not the plastic containers by any parameters, plastic or cellophane or any of the artificial mechanical containers. There's a question how to improve our skills that is related to anyone. Well, we as teachers, it is important for us to keep on improving our communication skills. So one of the most important aspect of improving our communication skill is practice, practice, practice. So we need to practice at least 4 hours of this dosage, 1 hour of reading, writing, practicing, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So reading, writing, speaking, and listening, 1 hour every day. It helps us a lot in terms of improving the quality of our written as well as verbal communication. There's a $1 million question which says how to improve our memory. And I will give you a solution to this so that you can understand. Once I was a history student way back in the year 1993, and I studied India had 16 Mahajanpadas, and I have been quoting it again. It was Ang, Magad, Kashi, Vats, Kaushal, Sursen, Panchal, Kuru, Matas, Chedi, Avanti, Gandhar, Kamboj, Ashmak, Vajimal. So these were the 16. So people who practice yoga, practice meditation, practice pranayam, and who do puja and part, wherein we recite any spiritual text, it helps a lot in terms of keeping our memory better. Consumption of badam, almonds on a daily basis, 3 to 5 almonds on a daily basis by soaking it in water and taking it early morning. It keeps our memory better. Practicing yoga for 30 minutes, having at least 2 glasses of milk every day. So all these aspects help us in keeping our memory much better. There's a beautiful question that says how to avoid procrastination. The simplest way to avoid procrastination is to tell, dear gentlemen, only today is your last day of your life. Finish all your work because tomorrow is not going to be yours. So if you think that today is your last day of your life, probably you will never postpone it for the next day. So this is one of the best way to avoid postponing things for tomorrow. If any case planning fails, what do you suggest about backup plan? Well, there are multiple perspectives to it. When people keep backup plan, probably their focus on achieving that plan is not 100% because they think they already have a backup plan. So there are multiple perspectives to it, especially people who go for civil services. The people who think, well, if I don't go for civil services, I can go for PO, or I can go for state services, or I can go for state clericals. It doesn't serve. So at times it has its own share of dimension. If we are focused on one plan and we decide we are going to be successful, yes, we are going to be successful. Yesterday, there was a motivational speaker, Mr. Sharma. He was talking about Sachin Tendulkar and one of the Australian bowlers. One day he bowled Tendulkar out and he took the ball and took his signature. So he said, please write few words. He said, this happiness will never come to you ever again. And he wrote Sachin Tendulkar. And he took a decision, I'll never be bowled out by this bowler. And unfortunately, fortunately, Tendulkar decided I will not get out. And he never got out by this bowler. His name was Hogg. So this was something very, very important. So it's important sometimes if we have alternative plans, we do have a second option, and so that we don't take any extreme steps in life. So it has its own share of, positive and negatives. So we can have a backup plan so that in case if plan A is not successful, then plan B can be successful. But this should certainly be in professional life only, not in personal life. Sir, how to concentrate one time on one problem in work-life balance? Well, this is a $1 million question Supriya is asking. Well, for me, it is important. See, simultaneously, you may think of 100 problems, but you may not be able to solve one. But if you're solving one of them one at a time and go to the next one, it's always a better approach rather than keep worrying yourself. Actually, कुछ लोग इस दुनिया में हैं फिक्र और फिक्र का जिक्र किया करते हैं. कुछ लोग हैं फिक्र करते हैं और फिक्र पे काम करके उसको खत्म कर देते हैं. तो दुनिया में 2 तरीके के लोग हैं. वो हैं जो फिक्र और फिक्र का जिक्र किया करते हैं, और दूसरा है जो फिक्र करके तुरंत काम को खत्म करके अगले काम पे बढ़ जाते हैं. I would suggest to concentrate on a job at hand, finish it, move on to the next one, finish it, move on to the next one. However, sometimes it would be required to have multitasking. Like on a particular day as a vice chancellor, like I'll tell you, my board of studies meeting was going on, Viva Voci was going on, selection committee meeting was going on, and couple of other meetings were going on. I had to decide which one was most important, where I'm supposed to be there, where I can avoid it, and so on and so forth. So it's important for us to understand. So sometimes you have to learn the art of multitasking. So I attended the board of studies meeting because this was pertaining to curriculum of the next generations to come. So I avoided the Viva Voci meeting because I thought I'll come back again. I can ask the question in the next Viva as well, but I could not avoid the board of studies meeting. So we need to understand how we can finish the goals one by one rather than being worried about all of them. How to increase our burning desire to achieve our goal? Well, this is $1 million question, and I'll share my example. First thing first. Well, when I joined my MBA program, I was a topper in my entrance test. So when I was a topper in my entrance test, I was left with only one option to be the gold medalist. Because if I don't become the topper, people will doubt probably I got the first rank by hook or by crook in the entrance exam. So I was left with the only choice to be a gold medalist, and I wanted to see my name on the main gate of my institution. We had a list wherein the name of all the gold medalists was written. So I had a desire that my name should figure there, and that kept me motivated to study for 14 to 16 hours, sometimes 18 hours a day as well. So the burning desire to achieve our goal is to document it, reinforce it, and you have now modern day apps. That was way back 97. I did not have such app, but I was advised by one of my friends. He says, write it. I am going to be the gold medalist and I will do everything that is required to become a gold medalist. And I kept on writing it every day in one of my diaries, and I kept on working every day. And there was a day which came and I went to receive my gold medal from the eminent dignitaries. So it's like, write your goal, be firm on your goal, keep working towards it, and it gives you the desired passion and motivation and the desire to achieve success in your life.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I invite one of our key office bearer, Dr. Aarti ma'am, to speak few words. Dr. Aarti ma'am. Yes, Aarti ma'am, please unmute.
Namaskar, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. A very good evening to one and all present in today's session. And about Professor Rana Singh, I would like to say that I have heard him number of times earlier also. During Kanodia, the conference which was organized by Inspira in Kanodia College, and on internet platform also, there were a number of sessions which were delivered by Professor Rana Singh, and I have heard them all. And I always thought that he has a great command over research and education, particularly research, because he is so research oriented, and he explained research in such a beautiful manner to all the young research scholars. Even the young assistant professors and all could learn so much from him. But I was never knowing that he is such a perfect trainer in life skills also, because the way he explained the things today was just marvelous. And all the galaxy of academicians we are watching for last 6 days is just a wonderful experience. If I talk about today's session, the way sir told us that we have to make our goals, and it is good to rather if we write them, and we have to make the short term goals, medium term goals, and long term goals of life. What usually most of the people do, they just go with the flow, and going with the flow is actually good in a personal life, because there are some certain things which you do not control, and it is good to go with the flow. But if we talk about the professional scenario, it is not good to go by the flow. It is always good to move through a proper planning, and that too, if it is written, it will keep the desire burning. So that is really wonderful. And so one more thing which I really, really liked about the session is it does not only tell us about the importance of skill or the schemes by government on skill development, but also as a teacher, we get to know that students these days in higher education, particularly, students do not approach us for book teaching, because there are so many sources available these days. They can easily read books, they can go to YouTube for information. So they are actually not looking for information from their teachers, they're looking for the counseling in the sense that what they have to do after their graduation or post graduation. And to be very honest, even after acquiring a degree from a very prominent or eminent colleges, they do not get jobs because they lack skills. And even if because of their degrees they get into some job, they cannot sustain. If they get the entry also, the degrees only help up to the entry level. They have to sustain only due to their only with their skills. So obviously improving the skills are very, very important. And so nicely told by sir that sustainability in jobs are possible just because of the skills. And so wonderfully sir, Mahajanpada sir took the names with such an ease. And sir, I can remember I studied Sanskrit in 1997 last time, but I still remember all the shabd roops and dhatu roops, because in those days eating almonds, getting up early in the morning and then having some kind of exercise, it was mandatory for the students. But now what I see in our children, this is not the case. Today's generation, they are not following it even. And obviously the teachers and parents are also responsible for this somehow, because they are not telling them to do so, or they are not forcing them to do so as our parents and teachers forced us to do so. So it was quite impressive the way you took all the names. And in one of my lectures I will also definitely quote all shabd roops and dhatu roops I remember from 1997. So on behalf of all the participants who are attending this session, I really wish to show my gratitude towards Professor Rana Singh, who so nicely, in such a wonderful manner, in such beautiful words, have explained the importance of skill development in the youth of our country, and beautifully explained the various schemes by the government. Thank you so much once again, sir. We are really delighted to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. On behalf of our association, I would like to thank once again Professor Rana sir. Thank you so much, sir. And all the participants who are participating this event. And as you know, tomorrow is the last day of our event, and the topic is Research Projects Management by Professor Ranjan Kumar Bal, Utkal University, Odisha. And I request once again all the participants to please submit all the assignments. And thank you so much for joining us today. See you tomorrow. Thank you.